Tonight's program could be the most transformational program that you've ever seen to help you play better golf. Every single element of the swing is to help you get to the most important moment of the swing. That's the problem you've had currently with your instruction. My name is Todd Graves, and I've been coaching the single plane swing for over 30 years. And I've been helping golfers just like you become better and more efficient by simplifying their golf swing to become better at a game that's very difficult. And I'm sure you've run into some frustration with your game. I'm here to help you alleviate that frustration by showing you not only an easier way to play, but a formula that you can use for the rest of your life to make you a better, more consistent golfer and even save your back as well. So welcome to tonight's program. Now, some of you are on my YouTube channel, and I can see the chat, by the way. So I do this live, and by the way, I love doing this program live because I get to interact with you. So please feel free to interact on the chat. I want to hear some of your comments, but it may even call out for some answers from you tonight. But if you're on my YouTube channel, say hello. Also, if you are new to the program and maybe you found me on social media, I want you to say hello, and I want to say hello to you as well. So welcome to tonight's program. Very much like you, I don't know how many of you out there are frustrated. I was in your shoes, a frustrated golfer years ago. And I'll tell you a quick story, which is interesting because, and one of my friends asked me this the other day. He said, Todd, he goes, what drove you to where you are today? What is your origin story? How did you end up in front of thousands of golfers teaching them to simplify their golf swings? And it came down to a moment. I'll never forget this moment. I was a professional golfer. I was playing on the Asian tour, and I was in New Delhi, India, thousands of miles away from home, playing in a golf tournament. But the golf course I was playing in India it had fairways, and it had rough on both sides. But not only did it have rough, it had minute snakes and cobras and all these dangerous animals, to the point where my caddy, if I hit a ball off the fairway, they wouldn't even go help me find my golf ball. They were like, no thanks, too dangerous to go in there. I got to the point where I was so afraid, petrified of my golf swing, that I can't take the club back. I was standing on the 18th hole, I'll never forget it, and I can't take the club back. I cannot move my body. I was frozen because I didn't trust my golf swing. That moment, when I left that golf course, I don't even remember playing the last hole. I said, I never want to feel like that again. I never want to feel like I'm lost. I never want to feel like I don't trust my golf game or my golf swing. That drove me back to the United States, and I started working with the best instructors in the world. I have spent more money on golf instruction than anybody I know, because I started approaching all the greatest instructors that were working with all the tour players to help me figure out the golf swing, just like you're probably trying to figure out, how do you do this? How do you hit the ball more consistent? How do you not wake up one day and hit it good and wake up the next and you can't hit it? How do you get to the point where you're consistent? I did that for 3 years. And believe it or not, I got worse. 3 years of working with the best instructors in the world, from 1991 when I left the Asian tour till about 1994, I got worse, to the point where I was about to quit. How many of you out there, if you're in the chat, how many of you out there this game is too difficult, I want to quit? And look, I was right there with, well, I was lucky, because when I was about to quit the game, a friend of mine introduced me to a videotape, and on that videotape was a man named Mo Norman. Mo Norman was a reclusive Canadian golfer, regarded as the greatest ball striker that's ever played the game. You may or may not have heard of Mo Norman. But on that videotape, for the first time, I got to see Mo hit a golf ball. But I saw a swing that didn't look normal, didn't look like the normal swing you see on TV. But since I knew quite a bit about the golf swing, because I'd worked with the best instructors in the world, I recognized what he was doing, which was swinging the club on a single plane. So that's a picture of me and Mo working together. Mo taught me what he knew about hitting a golf ball, which was what I'm going to teach you tonight: the absolute easiest way to hit a golf ball on the ground with this stick. Now, it's a lot easier than you think, but you have to be able to change your perception of what the golf swing really is. So the first thing tonight that I want to present to you is the single plane swing. So I'm going to teach you the single plane swing. I'm going to teach you the basics of it. The other thing that I want you to understand is that there is also a formula or a system, let's call this a system, for learning it. All right, because I don't want to just show you the swing. I can demonstrate that pretty fast, but I also want to show you a very easy way to learn it. Now, here's the thing about it. Let me just show you the single plane swing. Let me just get into it with you because I know you're here and you want to learn something tonight that could be very valuable to you. The thing you've learned in conventional golf, how many of you out there have taken golf lessons? You can put it in the chat. Tell me, and just give me a yes if you've taken golf lessons before. Most of you probably have. And what they taught you when you learned what I call the conventional golf swing, and this is what they were teaching me, which made me so frustrated, is they were teaching me to hang my arms below the shoulders like this. Now, when you hang your arms below the shoulders, this looks probably normal to you. If you hang your arms below the shoulders, you'll notice my arms are on one plane and the club shaft is on a second plane. See that? So they're on two planes. The problem with this two planes is that when I swing the club, the club has mass on the shaft. It's going to try to pull away from my body. See how see what happens? It lines up with my arms. Notice how when I swing it down, see how it lines up with my arms? So I'm starting on two planes. I end up higher. Notice that? So you don't end up on the plane you start, on the place you start. It really doesn't make any sense. What you see with Mo Norman and what the single plane swing is you notice that you start, see the plane I'm starting on, and you impact on the same plane. The most important thing I can show you tonight is things that help, that anything in your swing, which is the single plane swing, to help you get to the most important moment, impact, right? Impact. Now, if you look at impact, let's take a look at it. So if I take a look at impact, which is right here, you'll notice, this is a down the line view. Notice how the club is lining up with my trail arm. Notice how you have tilt of my body. Notice how you have my trail foot's on the ground. And look when I do it face on, you'll see me at impact. Notice how the club is lining up with the lead arm. See the tilt of my body. And you see this beautiful impact position, the back of the hands to the target. So here's the question I have for you. Would it not make sense if I taught you a swing that made it easier to get to the moment of impact, right? Everything I'm going to teach you tonight with the single plane swing is to get you to this moment of impact. Every single element of the swing is to help you get to the most important moment of the swing. That's the problem you've had currently with your instruction, is they start you in a two-plane position, and they've already put you in a position that makes it very difficult to get to impact. This is why you struggled for so long. This is why I struggled for so long. And once Mo Norman taught me the single plane swing, taught me how to start and impact on the same plane and all the things that I needed to do, it simplified my game instantly. I became better automatically. And then I progressed and I became to what I call Mo called it, but he called it a 365-day golfer, where I could play golf every single day and hit it good every time I went out and played golf. And that's what I mean by consistency. You want to wake up every day and know you're going to go out and have a good day hitting the golf ball. You need to get your game down to where it's just how good do you chip and putt and score. But if you're hitting it badly, you can't do that. The goal for me is to help you learn the single plane swing so you go out there and hit it good all the time. And then you're consistent, right? So tonight's about the single plane swing, and I'm going to demonstrate all the elements of it tonight. And keep in mind that everything I show you is about getting to the moment of impact. So let me show you the formula here, because this is going to make a lot of sense to you. When you learned the golf swing conventionally from your instructors, how many of you, and you say yes, they taught you the grip first? The problem with grip first is, if I taught you the grip first, it's not really helping you get to impact, is it? Wouldn't it make more sense if I put your body in the position of impact and then had you grip the club, so your grip matched where it's going to be at impact? Doesn't it make sense for me to set you up as close to impact as possible? Right. So that, again, everything I teach you tonight is going to be complete common sense. It's not going to be complicated. It's common sense. So my question to you is, why would you learn to grip the club in two planes where there's these angles you got to deal with and not be where you're going to be impact? So the single plane swing, what we do is we teach you to address with your body position in the impact tilt. So in the hand position is based on your tilt. So you're basically gripping the club and tilting just like you'd be at impact. So there's very little difference between address and impact. We're setting you up in the easiest, most efficient way possible. So the formula starts with address and grip. Now, notice how I said that, address and grip. I didn't say grip and address. I said address and grip. It's body position, then arm position, then hand position. The hand position is actually third in that equation. I want you to get your body position correct, then get your arm position correct, and then get your hand position correct. Common sense, right? All right, that's the first thing. Now, the second thing from that, you got to start here because that's where the swing starts. That's your foundation. It also builds a spatial relationship. Let me ask you this. Doesn't it make sense that you want to set up with the same space you have from the ball that you impact? In other words, when you're in a conventional setup, you have to lift your body because remember that two planes is turning into one plane. So your body has to change its space. Doesn't it make sense? You can say yes or no. Makes sense to start with the same space from the ball as you're going to impact. So that's the address and grip position. Second thing is positions. Positions of the swing. So now I'm going to teach you the positions of the swing. I'm going to go through those right now so you learn the single plane positions. Now here's the thing about it, and I want to just mention this. If you guys have questions, I'm here live. So if you're posting questions, please post those and I'll answer those questions for you. So we have actually 1 through 6. This is actually position 0. We have 6 positions of the swing. Let me go through those positions with you really quick. And the reason you want to learn positions of the swing is because the positions have a purpose, and the purpose is what? Impact. Every position I teach you in the swing is designed to help you get to impact and produce speed. It's one of the two, right? Speed and impact. So here at the top. So here I am at address and grip. Notice, and I'll go through this in a little more detail, but I'm in my single plane address and grip. Notice the straight line on my lead arm. It's also lined up with the trail arm into this impact plane. So I'm on the impact plane. Now I'm going to take the club back. This is what we call position 1. Then I'm going to leverage the club to position 2, leverage for speed. I'm going to transition, which is change directions. Go to position 3. Here's position 3. I'm going to impact position 4. Look at that. Right back to where I was. Realignment. Look at the tilt. Look, here's my address. Here's impact. Look how similar that is, right? Extension, position 5. And then position 6. Now, I got to show you something about these positions really quick. Okay. Those are the positions we teach you. I want you to watch this from down the line. Now, here's what's interesting about down the line is this is where you see swing plane. And this is what, to make you more consistent, you've got to get the club on plane. What does that mean? This club is designed on a plane, right? It's an angle. All your clubs have a plane. Doesn't it make sense that I've got to return the club back to its plane, right? That's the way it's designed. Well, I want to make sure that throughout my swing that the club is always on plane. For example, that club is straight up and down. That is not the way it's designed. This club is too flat. That is not the way it's designed to hit the ball on plane. That club right there, notice how it's pointing at the ball, that is a planed golf club. So look at the plane of the club at address. That's my address and grip. Watch this, position 1, look at position 2. Look at the club, it's on plane. See that? Right on plane. When I come down, plane. Impact, plane. Extension, look at that, that's even plane. And look at this, back to the plane. See, that's back on plane. So you're noticing that the single plane swing is on the plane the entire time because of my positions. That's why we teach you the positions. Okay, everybody give me a thumbs up or say, got it. Just put got it in there if you understand that the entire purpose of the positions of the swing are to create a plane of the club that gets you back to impact. After positions, I'm going to teach you how to put those together into a sequence, right? So once you learn the positions, that's not hitting a ball. We have to sequence the swing. We have to put everything together into a sequence, all right? But here's what gets really fascinating about this, and this is the stuff you've never heard before. The stuff I'm going to teach you right now, put your phone down, watch what I'm telling you, turn the TV off, because you've never heard this before, but this may be a game changer for you, is I got to teach you the braking system. I call it the brakes. What does that mean? The braking system, so if I'm going to put you into motion, so you know the positions, if I'm going to put you into motion, I've got to do something Part of your body has to stay still as another part moves. One of the questions I get asked quite often is, Todd, is this right-sided or is it left-sided? And the answer, it's both-sided. It depends when. That is a when question. Because when is one side of the body staying still as another side is in motion? Right? This is where it's not complicated. You'll understand this. It's really easy. Let me go through the positions and I'll explain how the brakes, how your part of your body is staying still and part of it's moving. So at address, got my address and grip. I'm going into the backswing position 1. Do you notice how my trail leg is staying still? It's not moving. But my pelvis turned to a certain point, and now my arms, hands, and shoulders keep moving. But look at my trail leg, it stayed still, right? So this leg has the brakes on. It's not moving. It's in a braking system, right? Okay, makes sense. Everybody's like, yeah, makes sense. Watch this though. Now I'm going to change directions, and what happens is you put this leg and you start the brakes with this leg, and now I turn and this leg isn't moving. So this now puts the brakes on. And here's what happens. As I'm tilted, right, very important, very similar to impact, I'm coming down. I also get to the point where my body can't really turn much anymore. It also, because of my tilt and the positions of my body, I have the brakes on, and it lets my arms what? Be able to produce speed. Because most of the speed comes from the shoulders, hands, and arms during a golf swing. So what you're seeing happen is when I teach you the single plane swing, the positions I put you in, this is where it gets important, so listen to me for a second. The positions I put you in, the correct positions, create brakes. And the brakes allow you to produce motion and sequence. All right? You probably never heard that before, but that's what's happening. That's the next thing I would teach you. So look at the order. I teach you the foundational position of address to get to impact. I teach you all the positions to plane the club to get to impact. Now I teach you how to sequence those positions and how to stop the right part of the body at the right time. All right? And then the next thing I teach you is speed. I teach you how to produce and add speed to that, because you cannot add speed without the brakes. And you cannot sequence correctly without the positions. Does everybody see, do all of you watching this, do you see my progressive formula here? Do you see the order of that? Okay, please tell me yes or no. I'll bet you a $100 bill that you learned to swing backwards. I'll bet you $100 that you learned, here's how you learned the golf swing. You took somebody's golf club out, maybe it was a hand-me-down club, maybe your dad gave it to you, and you ran outside and you started swinging it. So you're already trying to add speed to the club, but you don't know anything else, right? Tell me you did it. So I learned it. Everybody learns backwards, right? Let me ask you this. Have you ever learned anything else that way? Let me give you an example. If I was going to teach you to play the piano, and I gave you a piano, and I put your hands, I said, play me music, and you started hammering out just keys, right? Speed. You probably wouldn't hear any music, right? How would I teach you to play the piano? I'd teach you probably how to sit in the chair. I'd probably have you know where to place your hands. I'd teach you what the notes are. I'd teach you where the notes are. I'd teach you how to set up your hands, the positions where the notes are and the chords are. Then when you put that in a sequence and you add speed, you can get music. See the progressive of that? Progression is this way. If I was going to teach you how to dance, right? I wouldn't say dance. I would teach you what? How to stand, the placement of your feet, one step at a time, the positions of each step. I put those steps into sequence, and then you have a dance. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm simply teaching you the perfect way to learn the golf swing. And the reason you've struggled so much you probably watch YouTube. How many of you watch YouTube or watching tips right now, or just looking for tips? The reason they're not working for you, and look, I'm not even a fan of my YouTube channel. I think my YouTube channel, because you're getting tips, you're not learning it in the correct order. And the reason you're struggling and not getting any better is because you keep trying tips. You're not working through a formula, right? You're not mastering the foundation so you can then master the position so you can then get the sequence right and then get the speed. So I think you get what I'm talking about here. Now, this is not only a formula for how you should learn the golf swing, okay? Because you think, okay, Todd, you're going to reteach me the whole golf swing. This is my formula for the rest of your life to practice your golf swing. Because every time I step out to practice, every time, I check my grip and address really quickly. I go through the positions. I then make some easy swings and work on my sequence, and then I add speed, right? This is how I consistently practice. Tonight's program is about helping you become more consistent. That was tonight's program. And here's my question for you, and you can take this one to heart. How are you going to be more consistent if you don't have a consistent way of practicing, right? You will never be consistent watching tips. They're just going to make you confused. How many of you get confused watching a tip and it might work for a little while, then it falls apart the next day, and then you're off to another tip 2 days later, and then you're off to another tip? It's because it's not working because none of the stuff you're working on is really for impact, and it's not built into your system of a golf swing. This is my system of how I train all of my successful single plane students because we don't deviate from the formula. That's how I make everybody more consistent. So tonight I've taught you the simple single plane swing. Everything's based on getting to impact. The second part of this, I just showed you the progressive formula of how I'm going to teach you the swing. I've been doing this for 30 years. My team came to me a year ago and they said, Todd, I want you to put together the most comprehensive program that you can put together to teach somebody the single plane swing. I had built a 3D training system. Now, if you don't know what that is a training system where you put sensors on the body. It teaches you address, position, sequence, and it teaches you how to put speed. So we can give people exact, perfect biofeedback of training them the golf swing. But I know you don't have one of those systems. So I took that technology and I put it into a 30-day training program, which is called Single Plane 30. Single Plane 30. We've been hosting this class now for a year. We've had over 1,500 people go through the program. They're raving about how this program works. Let me walk you through how the Single Plane 30 program works. Everything you see here, this progressive training formula, right, is built into a 30-day module. Each day, you're going to receive a module. This is week 1. We build your foundation. Here's the most important part of everything that I can help you with in a 30-day training program. My goal is to speed up your learning process so that you progressively get everything correct in the exact correct order. So my goal is to make sure you're accountable and disciplined to getting it right. So in week 1, we stick to the address and grip and the foundational things. So you learn that. I don't let you get ahead of yourself. In week 2, I teach you the key positions of the golf swing. I start getting into the braking system because anytime you talk positions of the swing, you talk braking system. Let me show you something that you probably have never seen before that the entire single plane swing is based on. And this is what Mo Norman taught me about how the body works. See, one of the things that you're going to find when you learn the single plane swing is it's natural. Well, what do I mean by natural? I want you to do an experiment with me. So I want you to do this. You're probably sitting in a chair, and I want you to put your lead out in front of you. This is called flexion. So when I put my arm in front of me, it's called flexion. See my shoulder come in front? So my shoulder and arm are in flexion. And so I want you just to turn your arm like this, just rotate your arm back and forth like this. And look at the back of my hand, right? So the back of my hand is to the ground. That's about as far as I can go. And then I'm going to turn my hand this way and I can get it to that wall back there. There's 270 degrees pretty much of rotation of my arm. So quite a bit of rotation, right? I'm going to go to impact for a second. And I want you to see where my arm is at impact. So I go to impact. Notice the back of my hand is to the target, right? The back of my hand is to the target. Would you agree with me that that would be a square face? Like if my grip was good, that would be a square face. My tilt and the back of my hand to the target. Okay, so we're in agreement that if my club face is in correct position, that I would have a square face with the back of my hand to the target. Okay. So now that we know we have this much rotation of the hand, we're like, okay, wow, it's a lot of rotation. I'm going to show you biophysics. I'm going to show you how I can put your body into a position where the only place that hand can go is to the target square. How many of you want to, if you don't want to see that, how many people want to see that? I can mistake proof you squaring a face. I can show you right now how you can square a face every single time. How many of you guys want to see that? Say yes, yes. Look at my impact position again. You notice I have tilt, right? Okay, let me show you how the arm works. So now you're sitting in your chair. Your arm's in flexion, right? Okay? Now I want you to tilt. Tilt for me in your chair. Now I want you to do this. I want you to rotate your arm. This is called internal rotation. I want you to turn your arm internally. This is towards your tilt. So turn it inside like this. So thumbs down, right? Thumbs down. Okay, so that's called internal rotation. So you got your arm in front of you in flexion and internal rotation. Now, I want you to hold your upper arm still. So don't let the upper arm turn. Don't turn the upper arm. Do not let it turn. Hold it still and only turn your forearm down, your elbow down, and then turn your hand and you'll find that it only goes to the target. So, in other words, if I'm tilted and internally rotated and I stay internally rotated, the hand can only get square. Now, you're like, Todd, what does that have to do with the golf swing, right? Watch this. From my address and grip, I'm going to put my hand, I'm going to tilt and get my hand in a position aligned with the club face, okay? In my backswing, in the position of my backswing, guess what? The arm goes what? Internally rotated. The arm does this in the backswing. It internally rotates. That's what puts it on plane, internal rotation, okay? So everybody see how it's internally rotated? That's the same thing as me doing this. I just internally rotated the arm. Watch this. I stabilize the brakes. When I turn, look at the arm. It's staying internal rotation, right? That's me having you keep it internally rotated. So my arm is staying internally rotated. Okay, I'm coming to position 3. Watch this. The only thing that rotates is the forearm and it squares the face. See that? Now, why is it the only thing rotating? Because my tilt and my flexion. So if I hit my position, if I hit my tilted position and I have my arm in flexion, the only thing that can happen is a square club face. That's biophysics, by the way, pure biophysics. What produced my ability to only have a square face was the positions I taught you. So the position of side bend and the internal rotation of the arm allows that to happen. If you lose the side bend, you're gonna close the face or keep it open. So notice how important positions are. How many get that, how important positions were? If you're new to this stuff, I know you've probably never seen this stuff before, but this is why you can, by taking your body and putting it in the correct positions, I can biophysically simplify your golf swing and make it so you hit the ball dead straight every time. But I just have to work on your positions. Okay, so that's what we do in week 2. Week 2 is I'm helping you learn the positions so you biophysically can then sequence correctly and add the brakes. Same thing I did. I basically now, since I'm in positions, I can now sequence this. By the way, when this shoulder is internally rotated and this upper arm, it has its brakes on. It can't move, right? Only thing it can move is here. So again, the braking system of the lead shoulder. Okay, and then once I get you doing that correctly in week 4, we add speed, which is the fun part. That right there is the progressive training formula that golf should be taught. But now is the time to transform yourself because you've never learned it correctly. Why not start? If I taught you the proper address and grip, I could then teach you the positions. I could then sequence you, and I can add speed. I can transform your golf game with my formula. And then from this point forward for the rest of your life, if you have a problem, you just go back to your formula. If I'm having a problem in my golf swing, I just go check my address and grip. How's that looking? I look at my positions, see if I'm doing well, and then I can start sequencing. But here's what I don't do. I don't try to sequence in the speed. If I'm having trouble with my swing, I don't go right to speed. I don't go right out there and grab my driver. I start checking the things that produce sequence and speed. This is why we've had so much success as a company teaching the golf swing, because we have a model and a formula. Everybody has success when they follow the formula. That's been the power of Single Plane 30. Now here's the other thing that's powerful about Single Plane 30. The program, the 30-day program, is built for the most important thing I can give you as a coach, which is accountability. Accountability means that you do the training and you do it on the daily basis. So here's an example. I give you a daily training module. Every day you wake up, the beginning of January, right? So this thing will start the very first part of January. January 6th, just heard January 6th. So this program starts, I start everybody on the same day. You train with me. On January 6th, you get your training module. Can you put that back up there for me, the training module? And the training module, look at it. It has a video with it, and it has the training, and it has the goal of 5 sets of 20, and the goal is to learn and feel, let's say position 0. But every day you're getting your training module. I don't let you get ahead of the training, because here's an important part of this. Reps, R-E-P-S. Because the missing link to this formula is doing it. Guys, watching me do this tonight is great. You're getting nice information, but nothing I'm teaching you tonight is going to help you until you do it, right? So this program is designed that you do it. It's a doing program. I got to keep you accountable to the doing of the program on a daily module. I don't want you to get ahead. You follow the steps in the training program. The beautiful thing about this program is we also added in 2025, we've added that I'm going to do it with you. So there's videos where I'm doing the training with you. So you're watching me do the training with you so you can learn exactly how I'm doing the reps. It's a beautiful part of the training is not only am I teaching it to you, I'm doing it with you and helping you do it so you can do it perfectly. The other thing we have, which is beautiful about the program, is we don't leave you hanging, we support you. We have coaching support. So inside of the Single Point Academy, you can talk to us and the coaches, we can help you. You're having an issue with the feeling of the hands on the club, your address and grip position, you're having trouble with position 1, we're there to support you and coach you through it. This is a do it with you program. It's not, look, gone are the days of you watching video and going, I hope I get it right. We want to coach it with you. That's why this program has been so powerful for us, because we're with you and helping you along the way. Look, I charge $500 an hour to work with students. This program, this 30-day progressive program, has a $649 value. The accountability and working with the coaches and working with me has a $349 value. And the live coaching support, that's me and the other coaches, a $999 value. Guys, we're letting you in on this program if you want to enroll for January for $297. It's $297. But I got even a better deal for you, because watch this. I want you to see what's on the ground here. I want you to see this alignment ball position trainer. And this is our Feeling of Greatness training club, okay? These are, and this is the single plane trainer. These are training aids, but what's the purpose of a training aid? Well, because I want you to practice things correctly. I want you to make sure when you get your address and grip that you feel what I call the full range of the lead hand position. I want you to be able to, this club is designed to help you get the proper distance from the ball. It's designed to get your hands on the club correctly. The alignment ball position trainer you see on the ground helps you get your feet lined up and the ball position correct. The single plane trainer helps you learn the positions of the swing. Now, the reason I'm mentioning these things is because these are key training aids that I want you to use. But I'm going to basically, I have a way I'm going to give them to you. If you sign up for the program tonight, I'm going to give these to you for free. Yep, that's right. These are over $300 in value. I think there's, how much of the training aids retail? $322. So I'm going to give you $322 of training aids if you enroll in the program, the $297. I want you to look down here on the ground for a second. This alignment ball position trainer, why are these things important? Because when you're biofeedback, when you're learning the positions of the swing, and I put my feet down, you can see me put my feet down here, I also am seeing things visually. Is that correct? I mean, you can put in the chat, you're getting a visual reference. So when you change the position of your body, you're seeing the club differently. You're seeing the club face differently. You're seeing your hands differently. So isn't what you see just as important as what you feel, right? So that's why these training aids and the feedback devices are so critical. So here's what I have for you now. For the $297, I'm going to give you the training aids. I'm going to give you a 50% off the training aids and a 50% coupon to go buy them. The reason we're doing it that way is because some of you may have had a few of the training aids. So you get a $150 gift card and 50% off the training aids. So anyway, it gets you the training aids for no cost to you, right? All right, I have one more thing for you. So you have the program, you have the daily accountability modules, you got the weekly training, you're going through the program, you have the training aids. I mean, you're going to be kicking butt in January. This is going to be awesome. After the program, I have another masterclass that I put together, which is my power generation masterclass. Because once you go through the training correctly, you're going to want to add speed and power. But here's the thing about speed and power, and this is biophysics. You've never learned the difference between power and speed. And this is where a lot of people get confused in the golf swing. Matter of fact, I had a student the other day, and he's trying to hit the ball harder and trying to produce more speed. And how many of you have tried to add more speed and it just gets worse, right? And the reason is because in biophysics, speed is produced in the upper body and power is produced in the lower body. You may have never heard that before. But let me explain that to you. The lower body is supporting the speed production of the upper body. Without the lower body, you cannot produce speed. So you need the lower body to produce speed, but it's not accelerating the club. It's supporting the upper body. So it comes down to the brakes, right? We have to get the lower body positioned in a way that allows us to accelerate the upper body, okay? So we have to get the power, the ability to produce speed with the lower body, and then that will allow us to train the upper body to produce speed. So that's what my Power Generation Masterclass does. It teaches you how to apply the brakes, add the speed, and then separate the two and start adding speed to the golf swing. So it's a great addition to the Single Plane 30 program. I charge $500 for that program by itself. So if you look at the offer right now, you got Single Plane 30, $2,000 value, the Power Generation Masterclass, basically a $500 value, the discount on the training age, which is, Scott said, $321 there, all for $297, guys. It's basically, you're getting the training age and the class, you're getting it all basically for $297. All right. Now,
who's coaching it?
I'm coaching it. Scott says, who's coaching it? The other thing is I love to coach this class. So I step in and I coach the class throughout the month. So you're going to get me as your coach in live sessions. We had, in the biggest session this year, we had like 60 or 7 people on every single call that we do during the week where we coach you guys. And you ask questions. So during the week, I get to get on with you and basically answer any questions, just like I have some questions coming in right now. So let me answer a few of these questions and we'll go into some more instruction. By the way, gravesgolf.com/enroll. Let me give you just a quick summary of what's going on with this class for January before I get to these questions. When you sign up for this class, you have to be enrolled by January 6th, 5th? 6th. You must be in the class by January 6th, okay? Because we start the class. If you don't join, you have to wait a month. I like coaching everybody at the same pace. This isn't something you can join anytime. And the reason I like to do that is because when we're on those Zoom calls and I'm coaching you personally, I want to be speaking your language. I want to be speaking the language of that training, right? So that's why we've had plenty of discussions about let's let people start the class anytime. I don't want to do it that way. I want everybody in and I want to train you for that month. So I want you to be a part of that training. So January 6th, the class is going to start. I like to limit the class size, because you can't have 300 people on the Zoom call. So I limit the class to 200 people every month. I try to limit to 200. I know a couple months we went a little bit over that, but I'm not going to go over that this year because I want to make sure you have a great experience. So I'm limiting the class size, okay? So make sure you get in by January 6th, gravesgolf.com/enroll. Here's a couple questions coming in. So you're getting a daily training module, and the question is, what if I can't do the training every day? Sometimes you're going to miss days of training. I get it. You're busy. But here's the way the training is delivered. In the morning, you'll get the training module. So you'll wake up and you'll get notified. Your training is available for that day. The training takes between 20 and 30 minutes. If you miss that day, you can catch up. You can just do 2 trainings the next day. You can even miss a couple days. I don't recommend doing too much of that, but you can always catch up. I recommend doing the training twice each day. It's only 30 minutes, and it's fabulous training. You're going to love doing the training. You're going to feel very productive. You're going to feel like your swing is getting better every single day. You're going to get stronger, and you're going to start feeling yourself building progressively a swing, because the way the class is set up, what you learn in the first week relates to the second week and the third week. You're going to start putting it all together, and it'll make so much sense to you. Just like some of the testimonials we're getting, people are just like, this finally is, I understand, is the ideal way to finally learn a golf swing that makes sense. And people are saying that to us over and over again. Let me tell you a quick story before I answer this next question. Years ago when I was with Mo Norman and I would get asked to do photo shoots, I was in the Golf Digest in 1995 with Mo. I've been in quite a few magazines, people demonstrating the single plane swing and showing them the things that Mo taught me. And I would do photo shoots with, obviously for the magazine. But if you've ever been in a photo shoot before, it's not just one picture and they move on. You sit there and you'll sit, let's say in my address position, and I'll have to stand here for 5, 6, 7 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes while they're shooting photos. Have you ever stood in one place for 10 minutes? Or have you ever held a backswing position for even just a couple minutes, just holding this? Right? So I used to have to do this all the time. And so I'm doing these photo shoots, and I'm in probably my 4th or 5th photo shoot, and I start realizing this is the best practice I've ever done. If I'm standing here like this, holding a position, and I can hold this 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 position. If I can hold those positions perfectly, if I can hit them perfectly in slow motion and holding those positions, I can do it in fast motion because I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger. But here's the downside of that. If you can't hit those positions like I am in slow motion, you're certainly not going to hit them in fast motion. That's what I learned. And this is all biophysics. If you don't know where the keys of the piano are, you're not going to play music. If you don't know where the key positions are, you're not going to hit them in speed. You must learn the key positions. That's what this is all about. Here's the next question. Yes, the question is the swing easier on the back and avoiding back issues? Michael asked that question. Let me show you why the single plane swing is easier on the back and why you training these positions will save your back. When you start, notice how at address, see the space of my body, see the space? Well, what causes pain in the back, let me just explain this biophysically. When you swing a golf club, there's always going to be rotation of the body. So every golf swing has rotation, right? So rotation is always there. What creates the problem with the conventional swing is when you set up conventionally, and Michael might be on here. Michael, if you have back problems, you can maybe relate to this. When you have 2 planes and you swing, when you don't have enough space, see how I'm too close to the ball? And when I swing, the club is trying to make room, so my body has to lift. So I'm moving up as I'm going down. So part of your body is moving up and you're swinging down. So you have 2 things. What happens is there's this thing called compression. Compression is one part's moving up, one part's moving down. You get compression. So compression is happening as you're turning. That's called shear. So you shear the back, right? So remember, there's always going to be rotation. So the only way I can reduce your back pain is to reduce the compression. Well, if I reduce the compression, you don't have shear. How do I reduce compression? I simply put you in a single plane, and now the same space you start with, you have an impact. So I eliminate compression. Does that make sense? So if I eliminate compression, you turn without shear, and you eliminate the pain. You have pain right now because you have compression. We got to get rid of the compression. The single plane address and grip position does it right off the bat. Here's another question. In case I can't make it to a live class due to work, are the classes recorded? Yes, every live session we do is recorded. Here's what happens. You become a member of the Single Plane Academy when you join the class. You have a space dedicated just to your class. So in that space, the coaches are there, I'm in there, and in that space, every recording will be in that space. So there's a dedicated space, your training is in that space, and all the classes are in that space, and that's where you go for your training and your class. It's all recorded for you. So we love to do that. And basically, if we record a session, we'll be in there the next day. From Larry M, should I stop playing when I go through this course? This is a great question. If I had my druthers, I would say yes, for 30 days, I don't want you to play golf. And by the way, January might be a great time to do this class, right? Because maybe many of you have snow on the ground and you're not playing. This is a perfect time to do the class. But let's say you're in warm weather climate and you're like, Todd, I'm not going to stop playing. Here's my recommendation. And I might actually write this down. I'll do this in red. If you're gonna play and do the class, okay, you're gonna do the morning training, do your morning reps, then you're gonna play. All that I ask is you do evening reps. Do reps in the evening. Now, there's science to this. I don't want to get into all that, but I've got to make sure that you get those reps in and you sleep on correct positioning and motion. So that, because what happens is you do correct reps, you sleep on it, and then you do it again the next morning, and then you play. You see how I'm giving you 2 training sessions for every time you play? So there's science behind it. But if you're going to play, which is okay, I don't love it, but if you're going to play golf, just make sure you're getting 2 sessions in before you play. From YouTube, from Brian. I live in Canada. Can this be purchased for study on a warmer month? The answer is you can purchase this 3 months from now. This class starts at the beginning of every month. So if you want to wait a few months, you can. But here's the deal. You'll have 90 days of access to this class. So if you join January, you'll have 90 days of access. So you'll be able to go through the class in January, you'll have access to it in February, and access to the class in March. So you're welcome to do that. So if you want to wait till warmer climate, you can. But you might want to, we had people last year that took the class in January and they took it again in March. And they took it again a couple months later. This is not a class that I want you to take one time. I want you to use this stuff I'm teaching in the class forever, right? I want you to use it forever. Learn the formula, learn how to do it, and use it forever. So if you take the class in January, you can use this information anytime in your life. That's what a class is designed for. Oh, I forgot, tonight we have a winner. We give a giveaway for a Callaway AI smoke driver to Robin Rogers of Iron River, Michigan. Congratulations to Robin on winning an AI smoke driver. Let me tell you about club fitting with Graves Golf and the single plane. We fit our equipment to the single plane swing. It's called single plane fit. We design our equipment to match a perfect single plane swing to you, your body size. So Robin, we need to we'll get your information from you and we will design a perfect golf club for a single plane for you. That's how we do it here at Graves Golf. We make sure everything is designed to help you get to impact. Let me go back to the offer real quick. Guys, $297 for the single plane 30 January program in 2025. You got the single plane 30 class. You got the fast action bonuses. You got me as your coach. Total value of that class is over $5,000 with everything we're including the training aids and all the stuff we're giving you, and the master class for $297. Gravesgolf.com/enroll. So again, I want to get to impact, right? I got to get to the moment of impact. Well, look at impact for a minute. Impact, I got to brace the lead leg. I've got to stabilize this because then I'm hitting into the lead leg. Consistency is coming from the delivery into that ball around this stable leg. For example, if the leg is straightening or if I'm turning and straightening, I can't get to impact. Would you agree with that? I mean, it makes it hard. So watch this. So it makes tons of sense to say, man, if I can get this lead leg in position, I can smash that golf ball really hard. Watch this. The way I teach the braking system is when you make a backswing, braking around the trail leg. When I transition, I move into the lead leg. Here's my rule, don't move the lead leg. And what happens is, with that foot on the ground, boom, I can hit the exact position every time with a stable lead leg. So the lead leg acts as a brake. That's my rule. So trail foot on the ground, lead leg position, that creates a limit. Just like this limit creates a limit of lower body. You hit the same position every single time. Guess what? You get consistency. It's all about consistency. I can position your body to create extreme consistency by the positions that you learn in single plane 30. That's the goal of the program. It's based in biophysics, guys. Here's the thing about the golf swing. When you learn the golf swing, you learn motion. How many of you agree with that? Everybody's teaching you motion. Everybody's saying, yeah, swing here, move here, swing it back here, turn your belt buckle to the target, turn back, rotate your shoulders, right? That's what I teach you. How many people are teaching you that you want to limit your motion? And the limits are what create the speed, because with limits, I can accelerate the correct parts of the body. You want some parts holding still as other parts accelerate. Without limits, you don't get acceleration. This is what's missing in your instruction. Question, Todd, from position 2 to position 3, do you feel like you throw your hands down at the ball? Brian Barry, no, I don't. I feel like, here's what I feel like. I feel like my hands go through the golf ball. So from 2 to 3, actually, I think it's better from 2 to 3 to 5. I feel more 3 to 5 because I want my hands through the ball. I don't want ever to go at the ball. I want through the ball. Next question. I'm hitting the ball okay with single plane off the ground. My issue right now is my driver. My ball tails to right, not getting back to square for Thomas. Hey, Thomas, this is a great question, and I'll tell you why. So anytime you have a swing issue, okay, so let's use this as an example. So let's say you're in single plane 30 or you've been through the program or you're in the middle of it and you're hitting some golf balls. And you got a problem like this, right? Here's how you use my formula. Use the formula. I'm gonna go check your address and grip. Thomas, I'm checking your address and grip. How are you doing in your body position? How's your arm position? How's your hand position? Check, right? Check. Now, I'm gonna check your positions. Now, I may check a video of your positions. We have our coaches do this all the time, but I'm gonna check your positions. How's your position 1? How's your position 2? How's 3? How's 4? I'm checking your positions. Somewhere in here, I'm gonna find a problem. At impact, foot off the ground, coming out of tilt, right? Somewhere I'm gonna find positions. Then, if everything's good in your positions, I'm gonna check your sequence. When you put in sequence, what happens? You might come out of position in sequence, okay? Or when you add speed. So, using my formula, I can find your problem. But here's what I'm not gonna do. You're hitting it to the right, I'm not gonna say, well, just close the face. See, that's crap. And that's what people are telling you to do. They're giving you a quick fix. You gotta stop that. That's not, what's gonna happen is you're gonna start hooking it and you're like, okay, that didn't fix it. You've gotta find I tell people the solution to every golf swing problem is always the same. Go through the formula. You'll find the solution. It's right there in the model, right? All right, let's go back through it. gravesgolf.com/enroll. Guys, I would love to see you in the January program. This is a great start for 2025. You'll have 90 days of access to the program. I'll be coaching it with you through the month of January. Here's the package, $297, gravesgolf.com/enroll. And let me give you one final note here before we wrap. If you have any questions, you can email Scott R, SCOTTR @gravesgolf.com. Some of you may have questions about the program. If you want to email me, Todd G, TODDG, @gravesgolf.com. Be happy to answer any other questions you have about the program. It's the best program. I know it's the absolute most powerful program you'll ever be involved with to transform your golf swing. Let's start that in 2025. I look forward to seeing you guys in the program, and I certainly look forward to coaching you and seeing you on those Zoom calls. Thanks for joining me tonight, and I'll see you inside Single Plane 30.
What is happiness? Happiness is achievement. What's the father of achievement? Motivation. What's the mother? Encouragement. The fine golf swing is truly achievement. Man may lie, cheat, and steal for gain. But he'll never gain the golf swing. To gain the golf swing, man must work. It's work without toil. For those of us who know and love it, golf is truly happiness.